Okay.
Amazing. We're going to have another witness.
7-day trial.
7-day trial. We're going to have another witness who isn't trustworthy on the bench. Throw her out. Get a new one. All right. I can't wait to get started.
Unfortunately, Mr. Books, it won't be that exciting. All you're really going to be doing is waiting by the bench for a few hours.
I know.
Well, whatever floats your boat, I guess.
I think they're about ready for us, Nick.
Maya, you look awful.
I was about to say, why do you look so sad?
You look like you didn't get a wink of sleep last night.
I know. I didn't.
Really? Why not?
I stayed up browsing AF.
The Dragon Ball thing? You did? Was this related to the case?
At first it was. But then I realized that I had spent 8 hours online and got nothing accomplished.
Sounds like my day. Sounds like my everyday. Well, that'll happen. Just remember in the future that there's such a thing as moderation.
I know, it happened to me 6 times.
Fucking what? Wrong kind of moderation, Maya.
I'm sorry if I fall asleep during the trial today.
Please don't. I have a feeling Williamson won't take too kindly to that.
He'll just have to get over it.
He'll just have to get over it.
Excuse me, right?
Oh god, it looks like he has an afro.
No. Court is now in session for the trial of Edmund Books.
The defense is ready.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Phoenix didn't say Your Honor. Throw him out.
He doesn't have respect. I trust that you two are prepared. Let's hear your opening statements.
Why are you always the judge for every single one of my trials when we've shown that there are multiple judges?
Listen, I'm bored most of the time. I don't have anything else to do with my life, so I just do these judges thingies.
That sounds like something
Your
you
Honor.
would say.
Your Honor, the victim was one Walter Webb. He was reported shot in his bedroom early in the night. The defendant was the one accused. We have a witness who saw the crime. But sadly, there is very little in the way of evidence this time.
As opposed to what? The last 2 cases ended without concrete evidence on either side.
Due to a fire, much of what we might have found is destroyed. A fire? How awful! Yes, the house caught fire shortly after his death. It is a miracle we still have a somewhat intact crime scene. However, despite this, the prosecution will still be able to prove that the defendant, Edmund Books, is the culprit. Our eyewitness account will be enough for this. An eyewitness? She's a liar, I can tell.
Why are you so excited about that, Judge? There's an eyewitness in most of these cases.
But it's a new one I've never met before.
The judge
Yes.
is just really personable. He really likes meeting people.
Yes, that will certainly help your case. No, it won't. When has that ever worked?
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, did you have anything to say?
The defense believes Mr. Books is innocent, Your Honor.
Oh, you're a
Eyewitness
fucking
and-
retard.
Eyewitness or no eyewitness, the amount of physical evidence against him is rather weak. If you ask me, the prosecution is a rather shaky case.
We'll see.
Why, yes, we will.
We meet Obadiah.
A bit slow on the uptake.
We meet again, right?
We met yesterday.
We've
Looks
been
that
staring. We've been staring at each other for a while now.
You're not still sore about losing the Sergalante case to me, are you?
Losing? Ha! This is hardly about losing.
Then you're already better than the 5 other freaking prosecutors I've dealt with.
A man like you doesn't deserve to stand at that bench.
Well, okay, somebody go get me a chair.
You may have fooled everybody else here, but I am not blind. This again? Are you ever going to drop this? It would be an injustice for me to simply forget about your past. I won't be satisfied until the true Phoenix Wright is exposed.
I wonder if we're going to be given the choice to forge evidence at some point in this game.
Oh God.
That'd be cool.
How'd we end up with this guy again? There has to be 1,000 prosecutors in the city.
Yeah, what the... Maya, stop saying what I said. Except for prosecutors instead of judges.
What are the odds of that?
In my world, they're apparently pretty good.
The prosecution requests that the defense please refrain from chatting amongst themselves.
How about fuck you? What's the point of my assistant if I can't even talk to her?
How come I do not have an assistant?
Because you have Waters, but you didn't bring him here because you called him incompetent and he doesn't like you anymore.
Oh no. As this trial needs to begin.
You know, Kratos said he didn't see anything wrong with this sprite.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I agree. Please limit your bickering with your aide, Mr. Wright.
How is it bickering?
It's like you're a married couple, I swear.
What? But I wasn't the one who...
Who will you be calling as your first witness, Mr. Williamson? The prosecution would like to call the defendant... the defective...
I'd like to call the
detective.
defendant to the stand.
We call the
You
defective
do it.
detective. Very well, bring him in. Please state your name and occupation. Oh no. I'm Mark Waters, and I'm a homicide detective. I've been working on this all along with Mr. FBI agent. The FBI is involved with this. Well, I guess Webb was some kind of high-profile criminal. Agent Torgamera is apparently taking his death as a chance to search the house. So, you're helping this FBI agent? He just said that. Well, it's technically two separate investigations.
But are you helping this FBI agent, though?
I'm checking out the murder.
What about the FBI agent? Are you helping him?
Indeed, I am helping him. He's trying to find stuff on whatever Webb was doing while he was still alive.
Good God.
The two kind of overlap at times.
But was there a third person?
My, that is certainly confusing. But are you helping him? Tell me about it. Luckily for us, only one of the two matters right now. We are here to determine whether the defendant killed the victim, nothing more.
The defendant is hard to say fast.
The defendant.
I trip up on it sometimes, too.
Yeah. Yes, I suppose so. Is there anything else we should know about this, Mr. Williamson? We have received reports that Mr. Webb worked for the Rivales family.
Because we can't get away from that pissing case.
Nope. I have tried looking into it, and I'm afraid that I am not permitted to speak on this matter. Ah, yes, those people. I know what my brother would say about this. He would say, I'm not sure about how I feel about that. Well, I am. This man is obviously guilty.
The fuck is happening?
Judge, are you okay?
This dude's weird looking.
Just bring up Morton out of nowhere. The victim is not the one on trial. Oh, right. Well, the defendant is obviously guilty too. Well, we're done here.
Goodbye. It's like the words that just appear on the screen.
What did we fuck up at?
Your Honor, perhaps we should start the trial before we jump to that conclusion.
Indeed. Now let us get to the point. Please tell us what your team has found, Detective.
Do not drink mid-sentence.
I will. Yes, sir.
This testimony never amounts to anything.
No, it
The
doesn't.
detective testimony always ends with you losing.
The victim was shot in his bedroom. After that, the killer set fire to his place before escaping.
You killed him, Waters.
You like fire, don't you? We got lots of calls about the fire. The building is still intact, but now all our evidence is destroyed.
Good talk.
That's probably the best I've ever seen. We still don't know much.
And we still don't know much. We don't know a damn thing.
But I believe that any questions we have can be cleared up in the cross-examination.
You give me too much credit.
Because you are competent, Phoenix. Mr. Wright, please begin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, he did the Your Honor thing that time.
There's a heat.
Will you make fun of my hill jack?
What? The fuck is a hill jack, and you better not tell me it's a freaking masturbation thing.
No, a hill jack is a hillbilly, only a different word.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Also, did you just claim that I made fun of your hillbilly?
Yes, my hillbilly.
I didn't know you owned one.
Yeah, he's right here. He does the voice of Obadiah.
Could you tell us more about how he was killed?
Not much else to say. You shoot a guy in the face, he tends to die, right? Fallout New Vegas.
He was shot in the forehead, not the face, idiot.
Well,
Forehead's
a part of your face.
Yes. Come on, Waters, don't be like this.
How far was the killer from the victim? It couldn't have been more than a few yards. There were gunpowder burns around the wound, and besides...
If there was gunpowder freaking burns around him, the gun must have been right up against him, not freaking yards away.
I was about to say. It's not like the room's too big to begin with.
So the killer had to have been in the same room with him. Well, yeah, it's not like you sniped him from the freaking window. What happened next?
Maybe she did.
I mean, we saw it happen.
Nah, no we didn't. We saw an explosion.
No, we saw just a screen of fire for 30 seconds.
No, that was that too.
How extensive is the damage?
Most of the building's still intact.
Really? I went in there.
Well, that was a dumb question to ask, wasn't it, Phoenix?
A little bit, but I'm kind of the king of those.
It was really just the bedroom that took the brunt of it. Here, take a look.
You gonna give me a drawn picture? Yep.
Oh my! Just look at that place. It's like Thanksgiving dinner 2004.
So wait. Was he burnt up? Because I'm assuming the dark part is the burn.
Yeah, he wasn't, was he?
I don't know.
The forensics team took this. I think the picture should speak for itself. We're lucky the fire department was able to get there as quickly as they did. Otherwise, there might not have been anything left.
So wait, is this burn or is it water?
I'm going to go with burn. So he landed on the burn. The fire would have woken up the neighbors anyway.
But that would mean that the house was on fire before he got shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. But most of them were already awake.
It's
probably...
I didn't get the picture.
It was probably going to end up being like a time thing.
But did you see how little blood there was for someone who was shot in the head?
There was that too, but then again, we had
I know.
a lot of blood dispute going on.
Never gonna give you a...
The loud music coming from Webb's place did a good job of that. That fucking annoying song. Loud music? The youth of today. No respect for others. The court accepts this photo as evidence. There you go. Please continue, detective. No, I'm sorry, detective.
I mean, look at that. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's like a small cut on your hand.
I've dropped more blood just from a cut on the finger.
Ev.
What did people say about the fire?
That the house was burning and somebody should do something about it.
Good fucking talk. Anything else?
What? Like there's more to say when your neighbor's house bursts into flames. They were just calling to report a fire, man.
Were these calls before or after the fire? After the complaints about the music?
They were after, I think. Yeah, they were definitely after. That's gonna... It would have to be after.
Yeah, but they probably weren't.
Nobody is going to be complaining about loud music when there's a building on fire.
Yeah, this is gonna come back up.
Yes, it is.
Did you get any other phone calls besides the ones about the fire?
Yeah, we did get one more. Somebody called in and said that Wemp had been killed. Well...
That must have been from Little Miss Nameless.
We kept a transcript of the call. Alright, cool.
You want to be dispatch?
911, what's your emergency?
I'm calling for a murder.
I can't understand you. Can you...
Can you please take off your Guy Fawkes mask?
A murder? What happened?
I just saw a man get shot in his bedroom.
Can I get your location?
Can you get to the location?
I've gotta go. I think the killer might have seen me.
So yeah, she's probably the killer.
It's all in there if you need to know more. Thank you, detective. You did a good job. I'm proud of you.
There's no information in this. Oh, I'm on upper middle.
Yeah.
Read. I saw this as the place to start reading.
Oh. I mean, I know I heard you say I've got to go, but I didn't hear you say the first part.
I didn't read I'm on upper middle street.
I'd like you to update your testimony with this information. Got it.
Come on.
I stroked out.
Read it. It's new.
It's not new. It's fine. But only one about a murder. Couldn't really tell you why.
Having another stroke? What did the caller tell you? It just... What the fuck?
That Webb had been killed. Not much else.
I'm sure more was discussed than just that. Did you give us some details?
Oh. He was kind enough to give you that transcript of the call. How about you read it yourself?
Well...
I don't know how to read.
I guess it doesn't really say much else.
There. Was that so hard?
I can read just fine, thank you.
It's good to know you can still read, right?
And talk. Okay, this can't just be a coincidence. I know he's reading my mind or something.
He's a fucking X-Man. He's not reading your mind, Nick.
How did you...
Please continue, Mr. Waters.
Okay, well, let's just continue for now. All of your evidence is gone?
Not all, really. Just a good chunk. We still picked up some DNA and the traces of fingerprints. I'll get to those later. How about you get to them now?
Yeah.
At least the house is still around, though. Otherwise, we wouldn't have much of a crime scene at all. Rather pointless if you aren't able to turn up any evidence in the first place. Yeah, I guess. These are just the basic facts of the case, so there shouldn't be too much wrong.
No, but knowing Waters, there's probably something out there he hasn't considered yet. Maybe not a contradiction, just a clarification on something. I have to point that out to him. Alright. Victim was shot in his bedroom. After that, the killer set fire to his place before escaping. I'm not trying to... Okay. You got lots of calls about the fire, but only one about a murder. This was what was added, so... The building's still intact and all of our evidence is destroyed.
Yeah, the boombox is still there. Wouldn't
you wanna try it?
Yeah, sure. Wouldn't the boombox
Nope.
have been making noise during the dispatch call?
Yeah, but how would we prove that?
This call's about the fire. Only one about a murder, couldn't really tell you why.
Made from a public payphone.
Wait, yeah. She just got shot. She just saw a man get shot in his bedroom while she was on a payphone at the bottom of, on the ground.
Well, she could have ran out.
She has a phone in her apartment.
No. I have no freaking idea, by the way. I'm just... Nothing about this is clicking.
Stop straw grasping in my courtroom.
Are you like a combination of the two of them?
Because they were both talking at the same time.
Let's look over the evidence. Volume dial to the maximum, the entire neighborhood could hear it. House caught fire on the night he was killed.
I don't think that'll be used for this.
Crudely drawn map.
No crime scene on second floor.
Walt's house. It's obviously the terms of service.
They broke it. They did a flame war inside somebody's house.
When was this? Oh, it doesn't. It shows the times, but oops.
Mayafe did it.
Yeah, clearly. I don't think.
No, I don't think anybody.
How could she see it?
Yeah, well, there's that too. She has holes in the eyes. You don't look too well, buddy. You really don't look too well now.
You're only 36. Shut up. You're like, I think you're younger than me.
We need to have Phoenix's profile back.
Victim was shot in his bedroom. After that, the killer set fire to his place before escaping. Got lots of calls about the fire. Wait, what?
What?
The murder call should have happened before the fire call.
Yeah, and then he says we got one about the fire, about the murder.
Yeah, but...
But couldn't really tell you why is weird to me.
Building's still intact, but all the evidence is destroyed. This sucks.
Yes, it does. There's nothing
I've got
clicking.
Nothing, yeah. Usually I can like make some kind of stupid idea, but nothing's clicking in the slightest. I have no freaking clue. Well, I mean, what oops. Nope.
Nope.
Okay. I'm trying to think things through, but nothing here frickin' works.
Just go for the boombox on this one. I don't know.
I thought I tried that.
No, you didn't. You did boombox on the one after that one.
Oh. I think I know why no one else called about the murder. It's because they didn't know. The music was playing too loudly for anybody to hear the gunshot.
Oh.
That's a stupid line of thought.
Phew. Oh, well, hey. I guess that makes sense.
I think the music was being played so that the killer could cover up the noise of the gun.
Why, yes, I get it. Huh. Well, that does raise another question, though. Wouldn't that draw attention to the house? The police were already getting calls before anything ever happened.
No, the police would have been rather occupied once they finally arrived.
Fire.
The house was on fire. Yeah, I know.
I forgot about the fire.
They would have been too distracted to bother with anything else.
So the fire was used both to destroy evidence and as a means of escape. Very clever.
Exactly.
Well, this is all good. Now that you have pointed this out, I won't have to do it myself later. I would have rather hoped that Waters would be able to... Hey!
Deduce that by himself.
But I'm not seeing how it points away from the defendant.
He's right. What I've just said could apply to anybody, including Mr. Books.
Mr. Williamson, I trust you have evidence pointing to the defendant. I do, Your Honor. There are several factors which incriminate him as the likely suspect. Mr. Waters can cover for us.
Want to try that again?
Detective, please tell us about our case against the defendant. Righto, boss. Part 2. The defendant and the victim knew each other very well. Books had a falling out with the victim recently. That's the motive. We found traces of his DNA in the house.
Well, I mean, you would if they were friends.
Exactly. He was also the only guy who ever visited Webb's home. Well, to top it all off, he doesn't really have an alibi.
I mean, does the girl next door?
I see, so there was both a motive and an opportunity. This isn't looking good for the defense.
No, it isn't. Fortunately for me, none of it's actually solid evidence. Still, I'm gonna have to find a way around it. How would you describe the relationship between the two?
You mean you don't know yet?
That's not exactly what I said.
Ha! Looks like I'm one step ahead of you this time, man. This is great. I actually have the upper hand here.
Just answer the damn question.
Well, if you have to know. The two were more or less best friends. They'd known each other for years. For
4 years. If the two were so close, then Mr. Books wouldn't have killed him.
Not quite, because you see...
What can you tell me about this argument?
The two got into some sort of fight about a week ago. Books did something to piss off Webb. Webb told him not to try contacting him again.
Well, rats. I was hoping they wouldn't know about this yet. Rats? Wouldn't that be more of a motive for Webb to kill Books? Not the other way around.
Nah, who can really say how mad Books was, right? He would have been really hurt by it and wouldn't be thinking clearly.
You don't want to be my friend anymore? I'm gonna kill you. Like, what?
Sometimes, because they're upset, people will do things that they immediately regret.
Stop rhyming.
Occasionally, this involves hurting those closest to you. The argument was a very emotional experience for Mr. Books, and he was clearly disturbed by it. An emotionally charged crime. Don't get too many of those in here. Oh, sorry. I would find this easy to believe.
Tell that to Christoph Gavin.
Things like that happen all the time.
I guess I can't argue with that.
No, you can't. However, a motive isn't enough for a conviction. Perhaps we should also discuss the other points against the defendant. Right, so as I was saying, before I so rudely got there...
I thought you said all evidence had been destroyed.
Well, I didn't mean all of it, just most.
And a little bit that wasn't just happens to incriminate my client?
The fire didn't spread to the whole building, so it's not like it got rid of everything. Books' fingerprints and DNA were all over the place. Yeah, because he was the only one who would ever go there.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he said that he's been in the house before.
That proves he was there.
They were friends. Of course he was there before.
Wait for it, man.
Oh no, here it comes. Are you sure about that?
Yep, we questioned the neighbors. All of them said they'd never seen anybody but Books go in there.
All of them? All of them?
You missed my vital organs. All of them?
All of them.
You missed my vital organs. All of them?